19 order. And I would ask please that we bow our heads for a moment of silence. Thank you. Mr. President, would you do the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is this a separate discussion item you want?
Yeah, this was the RFP that was sent out a couple times. We'd like you to approve it, so if we can put this on as an agenda when you add the draft CIP.
Where do you want to put it?
Wherever's good for you.
You want to put it at 6A?
Sir,
You want to put it at 6A?
that'd be fine.
Okay. And for agenda adoption, we will have item 6A added, or request for proposal for audit services. Any other corrections, additions?
You mentioned the draft CIP, if you want that.
We'll make that 6B. Okay, opposed? Chair, I entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
Move.
All in favor, aye? Opposed likewise, motion carries. Item 5, consent agenda. Additions, deletions, corrections, explanation. If not, Chair will entertain a motion to adopt. All those in favor, aye? Opposed likewise, motion carries. Item 6, bridge discussion. Zach?
I have spoken with Russell Darnell from DOT regarding the bridge. We've had our generic discussions, and then we had one of the commissioners that wanted to look into the Linco viaduct barrier. And what he is saying is that roughly he would like us to engineer it and put it in. His email goes this. He says, we don't have the standard details to cover that style of rail. The town will need to get it engineered and submit a design for approval. The office would send it on to the structures unit, and they would provide the approval to the design. I would expect construction to be more expensive than what you were initially considering. By the time you add in additional engineering fees, construction costs, and higher level of maintenance, I'm not sure Linco style is something the town will really want long term. If the council wants to pursue that option, give me a design and I'll send it to Raleigh and see what they say. So basically, if you'd like to go forward with the Linco, just give me the go ahead and I'll contact Paul Mills tomorrow.
Now, that's the, pipe you're talking about the viaduct one. Yeah, I mean, that was my least favorite option too.
Yeah, I like the regular guardrail, just galvanized brown, or that new core rust.
That's exactly what we originally asked for.
Was the guardrail new core rust? Yeah.
But
What we had.
he told us that we could do, if we wanted to, the enameled green
Yeah.
as opposed to the gold.
I asked DOT for the timbers, because remember when we had the original discussion,
The barriers are appended to timbers every 10 feet.
right, but, and this was where we had a communication breakdown where I was presented from the board a statement of the Blue Ridge Parkway style, and that is timbers and timber rails on timber posts for majority of it.
The section that we referenced on the Blue Ridge Parkway have exactly what Bill said. and timbers behind every 10 to 12 feet. And that's all we ever wanted there.
So just a standard guardrail like you see on the side of 74, except in a different color.
And it's 20% of the cost, because what was sent to us to approve is basically what every one of our citizens asked us to rescind in the 108 plan, and we did rescind it. Yet, that same thing is sort of right back this way.
Probably.
The bridge improvements weren't related to 108.
I know that,
Okay.
but that style upgrade is what it ended up being. It is over-engineered, or what is a very scenic, rural entry into Tryon.
So to be clear, no rock work.
We were given the option of putting 4 stone rock pillars behind the rail, surmounted by street lamps, if we wanted. But it would have to be at our expense.
So
Yes.
regular guardrails
Yes.
in brown or
Brown and green.
Okay.
Green, I would prefer.
I will get on that tomorrow.
Sorry about misunderstanding. We have to work. Okay.
I'd have seen what you were saying.
Yeah,
And truthfully, I've never been on the Blue Ridge Park.
and
We gotta go do that.
And it's much less expensive.
Yeah, it'll be extremely cheap compared to what we're looking at.
Actually, now what they do is they take these galvanized I-beams and they drive them in and bolt the guardrail to it, and they're brown, and they're just as attractive as the wood. And you can see it in different places along the scenic byways and parkways.
Item 6A, RFP.
So this is a draft for RFP for audit services covering July 1 of 19 through June 30th, 2022. This is the RFP that you used last time that has been updated. And with your permission, we will go out and see what kind of proposals we can get for audit services.
We need a motion for that, is there?
Yes, sir.
And I make a motion?
All those in favor, aye? Opposed, likewise, motion carries. Item 6B,
He did.
it's voted on.
I know, but can I ask a question?
Sure.
Could we tweak the language of the final contract, not the RFP, the final contract, to insert penalties if they have not, to the state's timeline, performed the duty of their services?
Zach and I spent some time talking about that a couple of weeks ago.
Because their inability to meet a deadline should not cause us to be penalized.
Well, will
I
you,
agree with you.
Yeah.
will you make a motion approving this RFP with the changes of adding in some form of that so that I can put it in, I'd feel better putting it in the RFP so that people know what they're getting into.
Chairman, we have an addendum proposed by Chris Holmberg.
For penalty language to cover
Non-compliant with state
with state
guidelines.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye? All opposed, likewise, motion carries. 6B, grant
So
CIP.
what we discussed during the work session was an initial draft preparation of the capital improvement plan that we've been working on. What it presented was 4 different options for you to consider looking at over the next month or two regarding preparing for, planning, and putting in action different projects utilizing debt packages, water rate increases, sewer rate increases. To refresh you, option A contains around $14.8 million worth of projects that need to be, not need to be, but that can be done within the city limits. Option B contains $12.7 million. That is, when we go through the rates actually, so the rates roughly 6% each year on option A, and that assumes everything gets done through the use of cash with no debt. Then option B was a slightly smaller version of option A, which did utilize debt. It's at $12.7 million, 6% rate increase, but a larger fund balance for future. Option C, getting smaller again at $12.4 million. You're looking at 4.3% rate increase each year. It does produce a higher fund balance than the previous options. Then option D, which is a total of $8 million in projects, leveraging the use of debt packages, 3.4 rate increase each year. We did discuss the different options, A, B, C, and D. You discussed in more detail option D, which is the $8 million, which covers different projects. It breaks down. Minimum rate now, $31.01 for water, would go to, in the year 2030, $43.20 for the minimum.
And let me throw a comment there, Zach. I remember some of the notes at home that I predicted in 2010, we probably had a minimum of $10 million worth of needs, and it looks like it might be more than that.
Yeah, we're kind of 1,700 people with a town of 17,000's problems as far as infrastructure and what we need to do. So it's a little difficult.
It's not what people want to hear, but there are 10,000 other towns in the United States just like this, because stuff was put in the ground. I'll just give you a quick story. I grew up outside of town, the Asian farm. Everybody had a well, and the government of the state was getting money to try to get people to sign up for towns to be on the water system. My little county, Franklin County. We did. We lived over 2 miles from downtown, almost 3. We got water out our way, and I haven't been back there in a while, but I can tell you what that pipe looks like now. It's just like our pipe here. It's rusting and rotting, and you go down the road somewhere, and there's water coming running up from the side, and they have to fix it. There's no good side to this story, folks. We just have to fix it.
Well,
it's going to cost us all.
And one of the things that we've discussed is we are a town of 1,700 people, but we provide water and sewer to a significantly larger number. I've heard it before as high as 5,000. I'd have to look into it. But when you start counting Lake Lanier, Gillette Woods, and some of the other areas, it can get pretty high. But again, this is a draft. This is something that no one's approved. This is for your information. To be presented over the next couple of months for you to consider. All this can be altered, it can be dropped, but that's what was presented to you tonight. If you have any questions, let me know.
Questions, comment? Okay, item 7, tree corner.
So when we removed the sycamores downtown that were dying, we did leave one stump to give you the option if you felt the need, and I think from what I've heard, there's an idea that you'd like to do something. So I'd like to know what you want to do, because I'd like to schedule it during an upcoming event. I know that Jamie has mentioned it to a couple of different people, and she may have some ideas. So whatever you would like to do, just kind of let me know.
Well, out of the ones that were mentioned through the emails and stuff, I would go with the toy soldier over the rest of the idea. That's all.
And I like that because twice. I started, what's the Julia Calhoun, and I started talking last year, because she had told me those trees were dying from the top down. And I said, Julia, how about if we try to put a toy soldier there? And our only concern was, once you get it, can you keep it painted?
Exactly.
That was our only concern.
This is my concern, because I can go either way. Carve it, not carve it. I want us to be careful about the symbols we put in our downtown. We have a bear, and the word got out. We have an invasion.
They've all come to see me.
Bear.
Yeah.
They
If
don't.
we put 10 soldiers, we gonna get 10 soldiers coming to town?
I think, personally, it seems appropriate to me to use something from my toy maker.
Look, and it's right across the street from the horse.
I just worry it looks too Christmassy year round. That's, it's gonna look like the, Swan Lake, or what is it?
Well, I went to see
Christmas
Jamie
party.
yesterday or day before. Somebody gave her an idea of, somebody gave her the idea of just using the word Tryon down there for Trump. I didn't dislike that idea.
I actually like that, and the guy doing the cart, we're talking about carving, can do letters quite well. He's never done it in, toy soldier. And there are, what, 3-4 colors on the toy soldier. I mean, I think it'd be kind of cool if he got it right. I just worry he won't get it,
If he gets it.
if he gets it right.
What else did you have, Jamie, in terms
Yeah, so I sent it out to the Public Art Committee and my board, but it was just yesterday, so I didn't get a whole lot of responses. But I got back about the name, and then also, because I did send him the link to the guy who does the carving. And also, the toy soldier came up from Julia. Someone had also suggested a railroad symbol like this at the Tryon Theater, which right by the train tracks. And those are really the only responses that I've gotten.
I personally, about the stump, I would prefer, whatever it is, I would prefer to have it gone. But for a lifetime, I have wanted to see the letters Tryon in the bank. You know, like we had at LaGuardia, you see Welcome to New York. I've always wanted to see that in our little bank there.
So would you lean towards the stump Tryon fell back?
No, she was leaning towards not having it at all.
Yeah.
But if you had to choose,
I really want a toy bank. Whatever it is, soldier, whatever.
toy soldier.
Yeah.
you would or
It
would
is not.
Well, we need to decide this. I personally, I would say I'll go, my vote in with the toy, so.
I like the name Tryon. But I'll go with the toy soldier. If he doesn't get it right, it'll mysteriously get cut down the middle of the night.
So if we do that, we pass up the chance of ever getting Tryon in the Tryon.
Not at all, but we'd have to.
I'll tell you the reason why, well, besides landing at LaGuardia since I was like knee high. With everybody having the name Tryon, even in South Carolina with the links to Tryon, could even go as far now as to say Tryon NC. I mean, I just always have seen Tryon in it. I've always visualized it. So.
Well, somewhere down the line, I don't see any problem with that.
You want
We only have one
the
tree to
big
see, so.
Hollywood side.
No, I like Welcome to New York when you land in LaGuardia.
There you
So do you like, are you talking low-growing bushes that spell out Tryon?
No, letters, physical letters, actual letters.
Like up on top of the bank?
Like I think I know what she's talking about. You just set them into the stone, into the bank,
Yeah.
and they could
And
be,
then people will be more than glad to take pictures.
but we don't have to do that.
No.
I mean, depending on how you want it to look, we can get that done fairly
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Just where you want to put it and stuff like that. So if y'all want to think about that, just let me know. As far as the toy soldier, are we going I guess for lack of a better term, the fat round toy soldier that was historically used, or is it straight?
It'll be easier to do the straight one. And I've got a photograph somewhere
Yes.
And Julia has a photograph as well.
Yeah, we got it on the website.
Like a soldier.
If we're gonna do it, soldier.
Let's try the soldier.
Okay. Soldier it is.
Okay.
Now,
It might rot like a tree.
well, of course it will. But soldiers grow old. As an ancillary part of this discussion, I think it's important that we very quickly, and we are at the appropriate season to do it, we very quickly put a noble tree back in. And what I mean by noble tree is like a 25-foot tree. Back in.
I've asked Thompson to give me some quotes, and I've asked Junior Newman, so I'll check with them tomorrow and see what they can come up with.
Could we make that part of our motion?
We need to see the cost of it.
Do we care?
Yeah.
For a tree.
I know, as much as no, we don't. I mean, I like to see a tree too. I've always wanted trees, as many as we can get them.
So you don't care about price?
Well, I do.
Do it.
The difference between the
Well,
12
I'm
and the
just-
24 could be
Yeah, I think we-
thousands of
They
dollars.
can be very expensive.
I think we shouldn't do anything until you get a price.
Email us.
Email.
And we don't want to put them in until January anyway.
Any
Well,
suggestions?
Yeah, well, here's the question. What happens if it goes past what you're authorized to spend? Then we call a meeting?
If
If
you
it
want-
does, I mean, November's right around the corner, we can wait a month.
No, I
To make a
understand that, but
decision.
if we want to get it up, I'm asking the question in all honesty, that if it goes over what its authorized amount is, then we'll need to call a second to authorize it.
Yeah, or we can wait for the next meeting and all
Yeah,
right.
either way. Okay,
Or we can,
gonna leave them hanging.
I will work on that for you.
yeah, and I'm sure they will give suggestions as far as the trees. I don't have one.
But I would talk with John Vine, utilize the expertise we have.
Okay. Item 8?
Wait a minute, do we need a motion?
No.
I can go based off what you tell me, but if you want to do a motion,
Okay, that's fine.
Item 8.
Yeah.
So this is the Lake Lanier Dam discussion. To update from last week or last month, you asked for me to ask for an extension from South Carolina. They did approve 30 days, and they said they would work on us, given we continue to make progress. We secured an additional engineering statement of qualifications, which is included in your packet from Garner Engineering. I would like to ask you what you think of the two engineering firms, Cranston and Garner. If you have any feeling one way or the other. Cranston is a larger firm. Garner is a closer firm.
Are they giving us prices?
Well, they have given us, this is a statement of qualification, so if you look in the rear, they have given us cost of hourly work. Now, I do know with these firms, it should be lower than what we were expecting originally, given that, some of these engineer costs are $140 an hour. I think we can get this done in the ball range of a little bit over 10, a little bit under 18, 20.
Oh.
So,
I'm good
it's
with
gonna
that.
be,
If
A
they're
lot
both,
better than the other.
50 to 55.
assuming they're both good, further away, costs us more mileage with potential.
yeah, but the thing that, I think you're correct, it will cost more mileage, but these hourly rates, if I remember correctly, are actually cheaper. So in the long term, it may even out. And then the only difference you're really left with is this is quite a large firm. as opposed to, this, I believe, is, 2 people in this firm. So I mean, you know.
And it's fairly new, right?
2 years.
Yeah, well, I met with this individual today, and they do have 20 years of experience, but it is a newer firm. Cranston's more established. They're partnering with S&ME and Kleinschmidt, and Kleinschmidt has done work for you in the past.
Well, you feel pretty sure that these between 10 and 18 with Cranston. I mean, that would-
Yeah, I mean, now it could jump up depending on what has to happen with any of the geotechnical or geological stuff, but realistically, these 2 are going to be cheaper than, you know, some of the original firms that we were looking at.
Well, having spoken with them, do you have a preference or a recommendation?
I feel more comfortable with a larger firm, even though I know that it can be harder to deal with, simply because I think that you know, some people, if you look at these statement qualifications, there's a lot more people.
Well, they
listed out. So,
they have the people to put on the job, whereas with the other company only has
Yeah.
2 people.
I mean, now
We have to call on other people too.
yeah, they would sub out some work, obviously. I would be comfortable with either, but, you know, I think they both have their pros and cons. So, but, you know, like I said, the larger one is,
That's Cranston, the large. Well,
Do you need any kind of motion?
yes, sir. You would need a motion for me to move forward to start a contract with,
well, I'll make that motion.
With
Cranston.
Cranston? Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed likewise, motion carries. Item 9.
So to update you on some of the stuff that we've done, you know, I will call on some of the people here, but we have done some sign relocations through certain intersections that make more sense for visibility. I'd like to thank the fire department because they have cleared and sprayed hydrants again for extra visibility. They've also helped around town for us to catch up on some of the other work that comes along with some of these signs and stuff. So we have a big thing about them. A couple things have gone on. The mechanical room was cleared out completely and reorganized. We did do the tree removal on Trade Street. It was, you know, for lack of a better term, it was successful. We didn't have any issues with it. The stumps left. We made the decision there. I did meet with Parsec Financial to discuss some building maintenance issues for the depot, which we're going to have to navigate through. Obviously, the film festival happened this week. We've been meeting with them. The guys have done a couple things for them. The public works crews have got some stuff done. We did have the new flowers installed this year for the fall season. And when they installed them, they also cut back what was currently there, which is going to come back. So when what we have now goes away with the frost, we'll just wait until the spring, and then we should have what we had before. And I think it's something we'd like to do every year because this pop of color means a big difference. We met with Thompson's regarding the Christmas tree, the Depot Plaza, in advance of the beer festival. We've also met with them regarding some trees that we'd like to replace downtown. Met with DOT regarding a culvert inspection down on 176. We've also spoken with DOT regarding the bridge, and I'll get the rest of the bridge stuff done tomorrow. We've had some broken lines on Vineyard 176 and other locations. We did inspect the pond beneath the water plant, the Allen Pond, and that's something that we'll have to look at some point to try to figure out how we clear that out to make sure that it doesn't overflow. So the fire department worked to, they have been taking the newer personnel around town to not only learn the streets and learn where they are, but they've helped find stuff that we need to fix. So we are appreciative of that. We did some extra side mowing in some trouble spots. We've been getting bids for a chemical feed pump at the water plant, which we'll present to you. The new recycling bins for glass were placed out. Obviously, the film festival, crosswalks,
Which crosswalks?
Maple, down here, the arrows, and actually Jody did the arrows, the one-way signs, the stop signs.
We did crosswalks on the school down here, we did one up on Rose Avenue as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Could you, at some point, have the Depot Street crosswalk?
Yeah, Depot Street.
Thank
You
you.
talking about the red?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Harmon Field actually prepped the field for the Steps to Hope Domestic Violence Walk. That was a successful event. We had staff assist with volunteering. Met with Piedmont Utility Group regarding the continuing fiber line project. We obviously, one thing we would like to just kind of go over again was the voluntary water conservation efforts. It's not mandatory and it's not required. We're under a certain advisory watch from a state agency, and we simply place it out there so that if you would like to help us conserve water, you can. And that's on our website, and it was also sent out through Nixon. So if you have questions, call Town Hall. Rogers Park has been utilized by Film Fest and different church functions. Jody's been taking care of that. We had a retaining wall repaired at the Harmon Field screen porch. So the retaining wall underneath the deck was actually breaking loose, so we had to have that repaired so that we could fix the underneath so that we could straighten out the actual wall itself of the screened-in porch. They did repair some of the stuff in the bathrooms, and we'll work on what you presented today. We've had some tree work completed at Harmon Field with some dead trees being topped. There's going to be more of the stumps that need to be removed that have been left there. We've also got Duke coming out to fix some lights. We've been meeting with Blue Ridge Hunter Jumper regarding the contract for that particular portion of the field. We have been meeting with buyers for the hospital, Grover, Pinecrest, and other sites. We did have a meeting with the county regarding fire and EMS services earlier this month. Tank went through a 9S inspection. Would you like to talk about it or just say that it passed?
It's the standard that sets your rating for the fire departments. That certifies you to be an agency. We actually surpassed what we thought we would be. They dropped that on us the day after we had Chief Tanner's funeral. It was on a structure fire on Vineyard Road. They told us that we had that coming up. Terry Young, David Summit from Austin State Fire Marshal came in, and we actually surpassed what we actually thought we would be. That's a good side of the story. Structure responses was good. So together great. Your average response for structure fires the previous year before, we was averaging anywhere between 12 to 17. The minimum number is 8 that you have to have for that. So we was good. Training was up to date. Certified personnel was good. The back side of the story is we're coming for re-rating again for our Class 5 rating. They changed the standard on us to where right now we're 5 in the city, 5 in a township. If you are 5 in a township and you're not within 500 foot of a hydrant, we have to practice a water haul and perform a water haul. But I think we'll be perfectly fine with that. I don't see any issues at all with that. Also, State Fire Marshals coming in December 3rd, 4th, and 5th to teach a class to the newer guys that's just joining the department. And I felt I would be fine where that's concerned. I don't have any issues at all with that. So everything was good where that was concerned.
So to continue, the cemetery's seen a lot of maintenance recently, but we have had to get some trees cut up that fell down. We had 3 pretty large trees fall. Jody's actually been taking really good care of the cemetery. We've gotten a lot of comments on that. You know, the usual Springtown right-of-ways for kudzu, Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast. We're still working with the Daily Bulletin and keeping in contact about some articles. We did help some business owners find leaks in buildings utilizing fire trucks and water flow. Obviously the CIP work. We do have a septic tank at Harmon Field that we've now emptied twice in 2 months. So we may have to look at that, see how that goes. We've had some water lines repaired. The usual basically. We do have a 100K gravel ride coming up that starts at the depot and goes to DuPont Forest. and back. So it's a pretty long ride, but it's going to be October 26th. We also have the Hencappy this weekend, Grand Fondo. So that's going to be a pretty big thing for us. So we'll have all hands on deck for that. Do you have anything to add, Jody, Jeff? Do y'all have anything you'd like to discuss? Jamie, would you like to give them an update on everything that you've done?
Yeah.
Yeah, or
So as y'all know, we've got the Beer Fest coming up in a few weeks. Our ticket sales are going really, really well for it, which means the more volunteers we have, the better, because there's going to be a lot of folks in town for it. And we do a lot of outside advertising for it to bring people into the town. We also, as y'all know, had our dog mayor 4th Friday a few weeks ago, which I would say was a huge success, even if the cat won. And I want to do some extra little promotions around that throughout the year, with the cat dog mayor, telling people to do things. You can tell people to work on their kudzu and all kinds of stuff. Halloween strolls coming up. I think we've already done the street closure for that a couple months ago. And then our next 4th Friday, which is October 25th, there's just going to be another time to dress up Halloween style, but more adult rather than, or grown up rather than kids. I did want to thank the town for getting the flowers in because it's really beautiful. Just today we got awarded 2 grants from the Polk County Community Foundation, one for Tryon Midnight, so that is a go for this year, and also for our trip to the Main Street Conference in March, which is going to be in New Bern. This week, the Tryon Riding and Hunt Club has a horse show at Fence, and so they're going to be picking up our mobile Morris to go to the horse show at Fence, which is what we had agreed on with them, so it can be in the area, in the town. Also working on some holiday advertising with the tourism board. They've given me a budget to work with, so I'm trying to get a few things ready for some holiday deadlines coming up. And also some pop-up shops during the holidays in some of our empty stores. Y'all probably all know the shops of Tryon and the parking lot sold. And I've talked with the new owner of that several times. Another thing we're working on implementing in the next couple of weeks, I'm calling them Morse Bucks. So for member businesses of the Tryon Downtown Development Association, we're going to give some away to volunteers, but people can also buy them. It's essentially a downtown gift certificate, and we will reimburse for that. So if someone brings a $5 Morris Bucks to McGordy's, they can then in turn come back to us and we'll reimburse them for that amount. And then also from the Phil Walker report, getting that the last few little edits to it, and what our plan is from now through December, when I have that final report, just to have it publicly online, and then have a meeting in January or February to try to get some of those people who attended some of those meetings to be involved with some of those things. So that's what we got going on right now. It's getting to be the busy season downtown, and I think our shops are starting to see it.
thank you.
Question or comment, please?
Several, actually. The Blue Ridge $100 contract. In your discussions, have you raised the issue of citizens being able to utilize the field for horse events in order to break what is clearly an unfair monopoly on that space?
Yeah,
And compensatory rate that is ridiculously low.
I've mentioned all those things to them, yes.
When is the contract meant to be signed?
I think it will be presented in December.
Presented
To
to
us?
council?
To both of you, yes. Yes, it'll be Harmon Field first month, or first Tuesday you on the third Tuesday.
Is it possible to get an advance copy of that document?
Yeah, as soon as we can get it together, we'll get it out. I mean, if there's anything that you want in it, just email it to me.
I've told you from the get-go, the only thing that I desire to have in the document is that other entities in our community have access to use of that fee.
Right.
Actually, Zach and I had a discussion about that earlier today.
Well, which leads me to the second general point. I have no idea that those discussions have been underway. And I've said this in former council meetings. Commissioners require more information from the office of the town manager. I've told you many times, you cannot possibly send me more information than I'm able to process. But I want the option of knowing it all. Your upper management, half of your job is pushing paper. I appreciate that you can do boots on the ground. I really do. And I do appreciate what you do, boots on the ground. But I want the first functions of your office to be served first. Leave pickup. I don't know how my colleagues feel about this. But I would like to see us go back to a February cutoff date for leave pickup. I'm not comfortable with this occurring year-round. And that schedule should be published to our citizens so they can make their preparations.
So starting in November, going to February, that's what.
That's what we have done for decades.
And March 1st, you bag them or you live with them.
There you go.
And then you can't leave them on the street. Put them in your yard, you can do whatever you want, but come March 1, you're gonna have to bag them. Kill the kudzu. Or fertilizer.
Yeah, I'll go with Jody about that tomorrow.
That's it. Thank you.
I have a question. I noticed Tim not talking tonight. Can we ask him a question?
Absolutely.
Sure. Let me
Okay.
ask anybody a question, the commission.
Oh, I got to ask you. So, you sent Commissioner Umbras and I an email saying that it was against the ordinance to put signs down there at the triangle. Are there other places like that?
With signs on a corner, like in a
Are there
situation like that.
Are there other corners?
I drove around with Jeff yesterday, actually, looking around. I mean, I didn't patrol every nook and cranny of the town, but there could be. I'll take another drive around tomorrow specifically looking for that. But we were doing just the general patrol to see what was going on, and there was just and I'm not sure the political signs, but they were starting to sprout up on that corner, and it specifically states there's not supposed to be any on that corner, and that's.
Okay. So I'm gonna hold you accountable for that corner.
Exactly.
Which means people call and tell me all kinds of little things. So exactly, you don't want all those little calls back from me, or emails, or texts, or what have you. I have you two working. Cause if I get a call, I'm calling you, texting you, emailing you, something for him to walk from this corner to that next corner to get those signs up.
I'll keep every sign off that corner.
That's his job.
Right. I'll make sure that every sign stays off that corner.
Okay, thank you.
Might I ask you about
Well, I know, I guess originally they wanted to do industrial.
That's what it was. Well, if that's what they wanted. Another option was given to them. If they ultimately decided to go with what it had been originally,
Right.
seemingly, which is general business.
Right. Yeah, so again, industrial would have been spot zoning, which is illegal. So general business, there is a general business zone in the vicinity of that.
Well, because I defined it, and I defined the commercial district for the purposes of the Main Street program, which goes to Carolina Drive, and includes Carolina Drive.
Right. So I'm going to discuss some things with William after the meeting tonight regarding that. But I have their contact number if I need some more information about what kind of more specific information as to what the business would be or what they're going to create in the workshop. I'll get in touch with them, but then, I'll put it on the agenda for my Board of Adjustments meeting next month.
And realize that a workshop product, in all likelihood, is 5 years down the road.
No, I mean, their description is very extensive of what they want to do with that. I shouldn't need too much more from them. So, but again, yeah, I'm going to speak with William and then I'll present it to the board and we'll just keep going from there.
Great.
Okay. Council Mayor, first today, Sherelle, second Chris, third Bill, Paul, then Bill A. with the amendment.
Thank everybody for coming out. Thank all the departments, all the employees, citizens, everybody who does well, sometimes a little unwell, give the police a little work for the town of Tryon. Jody, I thank you for your initiative to ask me if you're doing everything well, how you're doing. I appreciate that. And again, everybody have a safe trip home. Treat yourself well and everybody else, and until we meet again.
Great. Thank you very much for being here. I think citizen presence and input is essential to what we do. The trip, Tryon International Film Festival, was phenomenal. Just an excellent weekend, and I'd like to thank the town for their role to make us look as we did. I thought the town was beautiful, and I had dozens and dozens and dozens of comments about how beautiful our town is, but more importantly, how welcoming our citizens were to our guests. And I'd like to thank the town and the staff for their role. Congratulations on your Film Festival award. And that's it.
I want to thank the employees for everything they're doing, the citizens for being here, whining about kudzu, people killing in their property, so I won't bring that up again. Did I mention anything about kudzu? That's it. Thank y'all all for being here.
By the time we get to the meeting, I say this every week, every meeting, but everything's been said pretty much. But I do want to thank the town staff, top, all the way. The town was great. I think things are moving very smoothly. Jamie, thanks for all the hard work you're doing. It's showing. It's obvious. I want to say about Dean Tracus and his family for the loss, and he's quite an asset to this town, and they're going through a tough time. That's it for me. Thank you.
I would double check on what people said about thanks for is at now. Thank you for the council. I've said it before, we fight among ourselves sometimes, but I've worked 8 councils, and this is the best we've had by far. Everybody here seems to be for the best way to get, trying to be improving. We don't always look for the same way, but we look trying to be better. Citizens, thank you for coming out, and I've said a million times before, best place I've ever lived while I'm still here. Item 11, citizens' comments, sir. Citizens' comments, if you have a comment, please raise your hand. I recognize you. State your name, sir, for the record. Yes, sir.
Okay, Alvin Smith. There seems to be concerns about the dams. Yeah, I'd like to ask a question. Is there integrity issues with the dam?
We are being required by DHEC to perform a dam inspection due to the age of the dam and the size of everything downstream of the dam, the spillway basically. But there's none that I know of, but this inspection will showcase anything that could be an issue.
Okay. And can that be shared somehow with, you know, because there's a lot of people that don't get the Tryon Bulletin or whatever. Can it be shared? You get that? I think the people that live in the area all know. My comment is this: I hear grants all the time. You know, I read just over a lot of years you get grants for something downtown, you get this or downtown. Could you not work on a grant to do repairs and things to Lake Lanier?
It's a different state.
Different state.
Y'all can, as homeowners, y'all need to get Greenville County involved.
No, wait a second. And do what? I mean, this is one separate thing. Is the reservoir for town Tryon? You said there's up to 5,000 citizens that probably use the water. Some of them are in South Carolina, some of them in North Carolina. Is there any kind of federal grant for a reservoir? Because if you didn't have a reservoir right now, and the town lake was dry, and that wouldn't work, and the infrastructure, the pipes that the mayor was talking about, that's true. Over time, I'm sure they're in bad shape. But if you had a water problem, and you had to fill the reservoir, isn't there some source for grants for reservoirs?
There's grants for almost everything when it comes to federal, state.
Seems like there's something you ought to look into if you haven't. That's my
and we will. I mean, the engineers that we work with, you know, when you get an engineer on a project like this, they generally have grant experts that help fund those projects. So much like we work with a different engineer, CIP, who helps assist with grant work on water infrastructure and sewer infrastructure, pipe work. You know, Cranston, if we can get a contract together, will help with the grant work. The only thing about federal grants for things like this, I mean, they are there, but they're very hard to come by. So, you know, we'll do our best, but, you know, we'll let you know everything that comes from the inspection.
Because you own it, you own the lake bottom, you own the earth over there where you have your pumping station. That's Greenville County, and you're using it for a water supply. So I don't know what Greenville County would do to help a reservoir that you own.
Well, they would try to protect their tax base, because if this is just me speaking, but if they come to us and say, you gotta drop the lake 15 feet, then what do? Third basin's dry, but we still have the water.
Well, let's not get that.
Well, hope not. I mean, that scares me to death.
For a reservoir.
A $2 or $3 million dam repair bill scares me even worse.
Let's wait and see what the engineer.
Yeah.
I mean, don't street fires until we really have a fire.
Well, I know, but as citizens around the lake, y'all should be trying to negotiate with Greenville County to help maintain that reservoir. Because it is your property value, not mine, not the town's, but y'all's property value that's at stake out there. And you know, we have no control over what happens on the lake. There's been an accident out there this year. We can't do anything about it. We can't have the wakeboards. They're tearing up the shoreline. They're dirtying the water. That needs to go away. Jet skis need to go away. If you're not pulling a skier, there should be no wake zones. This is just my opinion as a lifelong voter. Lake Atcher doesn't permit anything out there recreational except for fishing and boat riding. no skiing, no tubing, no jet skis, no wakeboard, because it's a small lake. And you're smaller than Andrew.
Anyone else? Thank you. Okay, motion adjourned, all in favor, aye. Likewise, motion carries. We're adjourned.